Now, can you hear me now? 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 Hopefully that worked. Yes. Okay, good. Yes. All right. Whew. Some technical glitches getting set up tonight, but that tends to happen after you've torn everything apart to do something like Wonderfest or whatever. But here we are. We are here. Welcome to the Canadian Starships live stream. We are here. There is tea Earl Grey hot. There is an Enterprise here behind. It made it successfully home from Wonderfest. So that is all good. Tonight, it is very warm here. Yes, it is Canada. As my thing says here, this is Canadian Starships, but it is very hot here right now. And our air conditioner, it's almost like you need a producer. Well, I will always accept the help of a producer whenever possible. So if you would like to join, feel free. That would be wonderful. Let's see. Yeah, it is hot here. And we've got smoke coming in from wildfires, provinces over, and our air conditioning has not started up properly this year. We got it 2 years ago, so this is our second season of it starting back up after winter, and we have yet to have a successful air conditioning startup for the season. So we are waiting for the AC person to come on Monday to have that looked at. My guess is that it is hot. Let's see. Hot, it was 28, 29, 30 today. So yeah, without the air conditioning, the house is taking a while to cool down. Added problem is opening the windows. We had to wait until some better air quality outside because we've got the smoke coming in from wildfires. So we don't want that all through the house. Yeah. Did I get anything from Wonderfest? I got a lot of connections with people from Wonderfest. I got to connect with a lot of people. That's what I got. I got an interview on the Tested channel. That's what I got. Let's see here. Let me pull something up, and I will have to pull it up on my other screen and show you. But I should have, yeah. I'm going to pull this up directly from my YouTube channel here. And this happened. That's pretty cool. Got a little bit of behind the scenes footage of that happening. I have no idea when that's going to go on their channel, but it's a thing that happened. So I got that. You're probably wondering, did I buy any models or anything like that? No, I did not. Almost. I had my hands on a JJ prize for $60 US, but Jordan was also looking for that. So I gave Jordan the option of buying it off of me because he doesn't have to take things through customs when he goes back. Now he does have to fly. So I don't know how he's getting it back. Maybe he's got somebody shipping it, or I think I heard Ian might be shipping him some stuff. So maybe that is part of that. Let's see here. But yeah, as far as buying things and bringing things back, I was very cautious this year because I didn't want to worry about the border and dealing with bringing things across at the border, just because things are a little bit spicy right now when it comes to crossing the Canadian-American border. So yeah, I didn't get anything as far as projects coming up, but there's already a bunch of projects coming up, so I don't need any more projects to work on right now. But we did find out that the Enterprise E, the 1400 scale Enterprise E, is being repopped. So the moment that comes out, I'm going to order like 5 of them to have in the shop because I go through those like crazy because people seem to like those. Let's see. Todd says, my AC just got fixed, thankfully. 104 Fahrenheit equals 40 Celsius today. That, I believe Arizona is a whole different thing compared to anywhere else on the planet as far as how hot it can get. So I would not be built for Arizona weather. British winters, that's kind of what I'm built for. I do find our winters awfully cold, so I wouldn't mind the milder winters, but summers I prefer to be on the cooler side. So yeah, so as far as bringing things back, I was very cautious. I didn't bring anything back. I think we took, I took like $16 back across. My production assistant took like $5 worth of chocolate back for his sister. So it was a pretty easy crossing. Although I said that I've got like $16, he's got $5, and they're looking in the back seat, and the Enterprise is back there, and they're like, "Well, what's all this?" So I had to explain. Was there for the model show, had a model on display. That's all the stuff to help display the model. So let's see. Let's go back through the list here. Let's see who we've got. So we've got Stephen Haynes. We've got Todd. We've got Keith. We've got Stephen Haynes. We've got, let's see. Who else do we have? We've got Following Ghost. Who else do we have? Richard Napier. Welcome to the stream. Trubby Howard, welcome. And you're the one that asked me if I got anything from Wonderfest. Welcome. Darth Trent is here. Have I missed anybody? I think I've gotten everybody, but again, I might miss people, so a producer might be helpful. But I'll leave that to those who might want to do that, to decide if they're available to do that tonight. What are we up? And there we go. We've got a Todd. Say hi, Todd.
Oh, hi, Todd.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm not too bad. Starting to cool down. I've got the big garage doors open, and the temperature outside has cooled down. The smoke seems to be not too bad right now. So I've got everything opened up, just trying to cool it all off. Of course, then I'm drinking hot tea, right?
Is it us burning or is it you burning?
I think it is Saskatchewan, Alberta, and the jet stream's just bringing it down here. So,
oh, well, that probably means we're getting some of that too.
Probably. I didn't know there was anything, but then again, I was away at Wonderfest, and then it's been a crazy week since I've been back, so I haven't really been paying attention to the news. I mean, the world could have blown up here in Canada as far as I was concerned, and I wouldn't know about it because I haven't been keeping up.
Do you suppose they stopped the smoke at the border?
No, they just charge you guys tariffs.
Oh, that's probably it. They probably do charge that smoke some tariff money.
Yeah, if you want our smoke, you got to pay for it. So,
well, what if we don't want to import it?
Oh, you get it anyway, right?
It's a forced tariff. Oh boy.
Let's see. Yeah. What's 77 equal? I have no idea.
Oh, well, let's see.
I don't know them freedom units.
It is 25.
25? 25 is nice.
That is nice. No, not 40. 40 sucked.
Yeah.
Trubby's here. It says Enterprise D is impressive seeing it in person at Wonderfest with the Borg phasers. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Borg phasers were cool. And the nice thing about having Andy there was he was able to get all the sound effects working for me, making sure they were all timed up properly, that kind of thing. So
did it have Borg mode?
We didn't have it in full Borg mode, but we did have Borg phasers going.
Yeah.
Okay. With Borg phaser sound effects. And he updated the firmware and everything, so the phasers are actually firing at the proper speed.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah. Now it's sitting here. I don't have her plugged in right now, so I don't have any lights and sounds going for the live stream, and we're not going to be working on that today.
What is on the schedule today?
We're going to be working on this.
Well, that one's not done.
The Enterprise D. We're not going to work on the Enterprise D. We're going to work on the Enterprise D. And I need to either put my other camera higher, or I need to zoom it out, or a combination of both. So give me a moment while I adjust my overhead cam.
Don't forget to hit that like button, everybody.
I'm going to
help our Andrew
out. Let's see. I'm going to have to make some adjustments to the actual camera itself, which it really doesn't like doing that for some reason when it's on the mount. And let's see. One moment, please. Please stand by while we deal with these technical glitches.
This could be your screenshot right there.
Yeah, yeah. No, I've got a thumbnail. I don't need my arms in the air. Like, I just don't care being my thumbnail. All right.
Got a cord in the way now too.
Oh, I got a cord in the way. Lovely.
There you go.
There we go. So let's let me tilt the camera a little bit because you don't. Yeah. Just getting it to be quite right is a little bit tricky here. All right. There we go.
That works.
It's all in frame. And you see all the random stuff on my desk. Deflector dishes, Jody stickers, HTM chip, unused power, microphone thingy, tea, Earl Grey hot.
Your chips are on the way too.
Very cool.
It says they're somewhere between June 30th and July 21. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they come straight from China, so who knows how long it takes.
Well, hopefully the chips aren't down.
I see what you did there.
Uh-huh. All right, I just taped that wire out of the way so it doesn't fall back in front of the camera. You know, things are a little bit MacGyvered here after getting back from Wonderfest. A little bit why I was 5 minutes late getting on. I just had some technical glitches. All right, we're going to be on this tonight, and the wire just fell, and it's going to fall in front of the camera. I'm just going to tack it to the corner of my screen again. We are starting to put LEDs into this thing. So actually, I might do the top saucer first. Let me put this away. Let me grab the top saucer part, and we'll probably work with this because I just realized I have to add some solar resin to those dormer windows on that first, and I don't want to have to work around the phaser strip. I will if we have time, but.
So do you have the same exact process to build this when you're just repeating it?
Yeah, I'm basically repeating it. There's a few things that I will probably do different this time around just because I have done it once and I am familiar with the process. But essentially, it's rinse and repeat. Now, I'm pretty sure that this is the phaser array for the upper section. I should have written upper saucer. Yeah, so we will work on getting this installed here tonight. And that'll be the first bit of, apart from one 0402 SMD, this will be the first bit of LEDs that are installed. So
Stephen has asked, how many enterprise have you done now?
How many enterprises? Altogether, counting ones I did when I was young, I have no idea.
That's a good answer.
No idea.
The answer is a lot.
I've done a few of the 1400 Enterprise Ds when I was younger. I've got a 1400D to do once these ones and the 1400Es are done and out of the way. I am looking for an extension cable, and I have found it off camera, of course, because I am going to need to glue gun in. I don't like using glue gun for most things, but I'm going to have to glue gun in the phaser strip just to hold it in place initially. The material on the back of the phaser strips does not like to be bonded to any of the typical adhesives that we like to use, but it will get tacked into place with the glue gun. There we go. Long enough that I can then go back and permanently secure it with epoxy after. So that's essentially what we're going to start out with tonight. It's too bad the post is where it is located, where it's located on this thing, because if it was in a bit of a different location, it'd be possible potentially to put LEDs into the phaser strip on the... Oh, hello. I almost forgot. We'll do that. Just so that you can see me as I'm talking, because I talk with my hands and my facial expressions.
Stretch that inset a little bit in StreamYard so you don't have the black bands on the bottom and top. That's an OBS, right?
Yeah, that's actually vMix. Let me see what I can do here. Because I should be able... No, I'm cropping the wrong thing there.
Ken Stoys is here. He says that is a large saucer. It is. When he puts his hand over it, you realize how big that thing is.
There, is that better?
Yeah, there you go. Very nice. Trubby says, have you built any other enterprises like the bloody A, B, C, TOS, refit?
So I have... I've basically done D's and E's since I've gotten back into modeling. I did TOS, refit, and B, not B, but Excelsior when I was younger. But yeah, I've been stuck on E's for a while. People seem to like the E's. And now I'm doing D's.
The way that you do the Aztecing is just phenomenal. So
on the Enterprise E's,
yeah, all that little tape and stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it being I mean, obviously, I wish they would do some retooling to make it a little bit better, but I mean, we're never going to get that. So at least they are bringing it back out as a repop. And it's going to be available. So I am just quickly tacking this in with hot melts. It's not what's going to hold these things in place permanently. It's just a temporary holding measure. And I kind of have to just wait for it to cool off before I move on to the next part. Because if I don't, it's going to spring and let go and just cause a little bit more of a mess for me.
Howard's here. He says that's why he wants you to do a reverse Aztec version to strain your brain.
Yeah, well, but he wants it to be like the actual color of the blue painter's tape, right?
Oof.
So have to think through how that might be done. Which I imagine it'll be done the exact same way that it's done for the colors that are on the ship. Just one of the colors will be blue. But we'll have to...
He says yes, the blue.
Yeah, we'll have to chat that through, just the exact expectations.
How many times have you burned yourself with hot glue?
Since I started using a hot melt glue gun when I was like 6.
Yeah, like every time I use one, I always seem to burn myself.
Yeah, I've singed myself a few times. I started using glue guns from a very young age. What's worse though is when you accidentally smell the burning chicken when you're using a soldering iron.
Yeah, that's not good.
Had one. I was repairing some audio cables for it when I was in school, and accidentally it hit across like these 3 fingers.
Oh,
that was not fun.
Well, I can't remember who it was, but maybe it was Jordan. when he was using his soldering iron and it like fell off his desk and he grabbed it by the tip.
Ooh, that is not a good thing to do.
He's like, yeah, don't just get out of the way, let it fall. He burned like 2 of his fingers. Pretty good too. Dennis C is here. He says, did you pick up anything exciting at Wonderfest? I know he answered that at the beginning of the stream, but you got a quick answer real quick?
Yeah, no, I did not buy anything. Came close. I had a $60 JJ prize in my hands, but I let that go to Jordan, who was also looking for one. So I was concerned about getting the wrong person at the border bringing stuff through, just with the spicy climate of bringing things across the border at the moment. So I was just a little bit on the cautious side. We wanted to facilitate as easy a border cross as we possibly could. Now we didn't get Officer Kirk this time.
Aw, he would have loved this.
Yeah, no, I wasn't gonna unpack the model unless I absolutely had to.
Dash says he tried to melt a lawnmower wheel back together. Plastic's very hot and get a scarf. Yeah, I try to avoid heat if I can.
And you live in Arizona. You try to avoid heat and you live in Arizona.
I don't want to live here.
That's a good combination.
Yeah. I would like to go to the Pacific Northwest.
The Pacific Northwest. Which part of the U.S. do they consider Pacific Northwest?
Basically like Oregon, Washington, maybe some of Northern California.
Okay, so essentially right on the coast.
Well, not the coast. I don't have to be on the coast, but
the states that are on the coast.
Yes. Yeah. The northern west coast, but the Pacific Northwest goes all the way inboard to, into Idaho and basically to the west of the Cascades.
Probably one of the nicest climates in Canada is Victoria, BC.
Oh, I love it up there. Yeah. Dash says, why did you move there then? I didn't. It was not my choice. My parents dragged me here when I was 3. I just haven't gotten away. You want to be in snowy weather. I do not want to be in snowy weather. I don't mind cold. I just don't want to be shoveling snow.
Snowy weather. I'm just thinking. I should probably have these were running. Before I do the light box and epoxy these things in, I should probably just test run them. I can grab... Yeah, I think I'll test run. I can grab one of my Raspberry Pis and just throw the Enterprise scene on it. Uh-oh. Oh, here it is. It wasn't where I thought it should be. Just for peace of mind, I'm going to double check that everything on this LED strip is working. Because it's been a while since I've tested it. And I just need a breadboard. So live on camera, we will test this thing out. I won't be testing a phaser effect on it, but we will be able to test to make sure that it is functioning properly. So we're just going to plug this into... Actually, I'm going to plug everything else in first. Let's see, I need... Ooh! Something happened to the breadboard there. I'm going to switch all this over to the other side.
Melt it?
Yeah, melty, a little melty on the end here. I'm not sure how that managed to happen.
I have melted mini a breadboard, just creating a short. Whoops.
But I mean, it's okay. I've got extras. Just grabbing the right connector I need for plugging the data in. Data, not data. I did not. Oh, the little thing came out. Now I have to actually count down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. I have to count. If this little white blocker isn't here, whatever it's called, then I have to count pins. And you know how easy it is to miscount pins when they're so close together there. All right, data is in the middle. I did not correct anybody on the pronunciation of or the my proper name while I was there. I did not correct anyone even once. Am I still broadcasting audio?
Yep, you're fine.
Okay. No, just suddenly it was dead. It was quiet. I'm like thinking, oh no, did my microphone die or something like that? Did I pull any in? All right. Let's put some power into this. Got some power here. We're going to plug in the Raspberry Pi. And we'll see if anything lights up. And nothing is going to light up because I haven't. This is the same thing that happened.
You didn't power the breadboard, did you?
I didn't power the LEDs. Same thing that happened at the show, where we didn't actually power the model and thought something was wrong. All the LEDs. Nope. Got a problem.
Uh-oh. Why are some red? Is that normal? Uh-oh.
That's why I was worried. I was worried about this joint.
And a dead LED?
No, that'll actually be a photon. So we're going to switch gears a little bit here and go into solder mode. I was a little concerned about how that solder joint went together there. Or didn't. So I'm glad I tested that.
Did you say it was normal for that one LED not to be lit?
Yeah, that's a photon. That's a photon torpedo.
Is it gonna have a gap in the phaser then?
No. So it's not the phaser section of the program that I was using,
gotcha.
right? Because it's just using the first X number of LEDs. So yeah, I am certainly going to have to fix this. That is not a good connection. So let's put this aside. I'm going to get the solder station out, and we're going to do some solder work.
Trilby has a question for you. Have you looked into 3D printing, and what would you like to print?
3D printing is a dark magic arts that I do not understand how people get things to print properly. I have a small resin printer here that was gifted to me by a client who didn't want it anymore. And I've tried to do a couple of things, but I have not been overly successful I have not been overly successful in printing. I think I would need an expert to kind of walk me through how to set it all up for printing properly, but I do not have the time for that right now.
Well, you know, we have a lot of people in HTM that'll help you out.
We do. I also need the time to do it.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
once my projects get off the bench, maybe I'll be able to set some time aside for it. So 5 years from now, maybe. Okay. Let's power this thing up. Let's get some water on that sponge. See it come back to life here. It's been a while since I've had to do any soldering. I took my, here they are. Like, I took my Omni thingamajiggies to Wonderfest in case I needed to do anything.
You know, I almost brought a set just in case somebody needed it. And you had yours all along.
Yeah, I brought, because I didn't know if I was going to need to be doing any soldering work. I thought there was a good chance that I might be if we were going to incorporate the expansion board and get the flashers working properly and stuff, but we didn't end up doing that. So
Stephen Martin's here. He says, greeting, Andrew and Ken. Todd. That's okay. All good.
Yeah, it is Todd who's here with me tonight.
I'm in the background.
Welcome to the live stream.
Tommy says a buddy keeps trying to send him a printer and he keeps saying no thank you. It's daunting. I have them and I'm still reclumped about them. Paul says this is like Wonderfest in my home. It is, because you were working on your enterprise right there on the table at Wonderfest.
Yeah.
Jody's here. Hey, Jody from Truck Mods.
Welcome, Jody. These things are infamously difficult to solder together, like to join these high density. These high density LEDs. I'm wondering if it just needed a touch up. Let's test it out. The caveat there being, I don't want to ever risk anything ever happening to the LEDs in the model. So I just want to be very careful. I'm going to have to put new jumpers on the end of this USB cable because the wires keep breaking off. Let's see. So the pins on the ends of these wires have broken off just because they've been sitting at odd angles into the breadboard. Okay. That's fine. I've got lots of jumpers I can use. And the thing came out. I've got to count count pins again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think that's right. And I put the little cover in wrong. Let's do this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Double count because I want to make sure I get this on the right pin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. And now the LEDs that we're actually going to plug into power, not forget, into the data.
Paul says, what solder are you using? Would silver work any better?
I
think so.
I have silver. I haven't had better luck with it. And nothing is working this time.
Board's plugged in.
Yep.
Dash is asking, could you put a dab of CDA glue to hold that in place?
Could put a dab of something in there probably. I might have to restart the Raspberry Pi possibly. So I just have to get onto the Raspberry Pi's Wi-Fi. And then go over to the control software. Power her up. No lights. Powered down. And we'll restart. Was that done on your end?
What's that?
Was that weird? Was that da-da sound on your end?
No, no. Steve says he's still geeking out over Wonderfest. It was an awesome experience.
Yeah.
You know, the models, yes, but meeting all the people is great.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't have enough time to spend as much time with everybody I would have liked to have spent time with, if that makes sense.
Well, how much time did you actually spend in the booth? I'm sure tons of people that came by had questions, and I don't know how much Andy could have answered, you know.
Yeah, I tried to be at the booth as much as I could. But I also tried to not be at the booth the entire time. Because I wanted to actually experience some stuff with Wonderfest.
Well, I mean, that's why you didn't get a booth this year, right?
Yeah.
It was all about being present for the show and seeing everything.
Exactly.
Did you educate Andy so he can answer questions?
5, 6, 7. We kind of both learned a bit about each other's thing, just so that we could be knowledgeable. All right. There's a weak point in the power source that might be the issue. Oh, I don't want that to go on the solder. That's in, power's in.
It looks like your USB plug isn't plugged in anything, though.
Oh, yeah, no, I've reset the Raspberry Pi.
Oh, okay.
So I just have to power cycle it. No, I was just going over everything to make sure it was plugged in properly before I plugged her in. Because it might just want a fresh restart. The LEDs can be funny that way sometimes. Okay.
Does that white wire have to plug into anything next to the Pi?
No.
Okay.
That does not have to plug into anything. Okay, interesting.
Steven says, Andrew, the D at the show was incredible. What are you working on tonight? Is this the second D build?
This is the second D build. Exactly. I'm going to grab the lower phaser array because it does not have any joins in it. And I'm going to plug it in. Plug it in, plug it in. And it works. Okay, so I know it's not the Raspberry Pi at this point. So that works. So what you're seeing here is you're seeing the blue for the chiller grills, the red fluctuating between red and orange for the Buzzard. Then you're seeing the next chiller grill, the next set of Buzzards, and then you're seeing window lights.
Oh, I got it.
And on the other set, because it's longer, one of the photon, probably the forward photon launcher was the one where it was a light that you weren't seeing.
So basically, the pin you chose is a different set of lights, or the strip just doesn't know that those are supposed to be farther along in the strip.
Well, because when you plug it in, it just sees it as LED 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Right? So,
gotcha. Yeah.
Now let me plug this back in. Interesting, because I should not have any issues with this strip. And all I did... Oh. Yeah, it does not like that join. So we're going to completely redo that join. The only problem is, do I have any LEDs left of that type? That is my next question.
Well, does it have, because it's addressable, it has 3 pins that have to be connected?
It does, yeah.
I can see that being tricky. Yeah.
Yeah, and to keep them tight, right? So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I don't think I have a strip of 13 left. I don't think I do. I'm going to have a quick look. So no, I don't have a long enough stretch to replace the back end, so I'm going to have to salvage the back end of this. So that's going to be fun. And use the term fun loosely there.
As one does.
So let's see what we can do. We have to get this separated, and then we have to get it reconnected better. Because we cannot risk a bad connection here. Okay, well, I got it off. We're going to have to get it cleaned up. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this cleaned up well enough. I might have to put this on hold until I can get some more of these LEDs in the shop.
Dash says it's got gremlins and the dilithium crystals. Yeah, Steve Mark says, Andrew, you're going to be a D expert before all is said and done. I think Andrew already knows more about the studio Model D than a lot of people do.
I would bow to Wayne on that one.
Yeah, but still, just the amount of research you've done and paying attention to those tiny little, panel greeblies, and it's impressive. Dash says, did you short it across the joint? And Dash says, thank God for the Omni. Did anyone sell those at Wonderfest? I don't think so. I didn't see them there. Did you see any kind of like helping hands at Wonderfest?
No.
Yeah.
All right, let that cool down for a moment. We're going to see if that was a better connection. Also, like I've got a better. I don't know if I did that when I was using my old solder iron as well, which could have been part of the issue because I'm not sure what I was doing before I got the new solder gun. I mean solder station. Because having a solder station that functions properly is half the battle. Stretch this out, lay this out, and I'm gonna need to power this. So troubleshooting on live stream, yay!
That's all. That's most of the fun.
And it all works, and I'm moving it around, and nothing's shorting. Perfect. It just needed a bit of a repair. Wonderful. That's what we want to hear.
Hey.
Hey. Now I can put the solder station away and go back to what we started the stream doing, installing some LEDs. I'm glad I took a pause, stopped, and rolled. No, I mean tested the LED. All right. Yeah, that seam was looking a little sus to me, so definitely worth taking the time just to double check that out. Let's move this hot don't touch stuff out of the way.
I'll be right back, Andrew.
All right. Okay, we'll turn the glue gun back on. I'm going to refill my cup of tea, Earl Grey hot. And let's see. Paul says, in response to Jody, Ditto Wonderfest is family. Helping Hand Harbor Freights. He says, I didn't see any Omni Fixos. Nice logo there, by the way. And Jody says, sure felt that way. Dash says, Paul, you would love these Omni Fixo. Andrew loves his now. Yeah, that definitely comes in handy on these projects. Paul says, just an FYI, I toy buy and sorry, I can't. My brain's not working. I cannot decode that. Jody says, says to Steve, "What's your channel name again? I'm trying to find you, but there's some other Steve Martin spamming the search." Yeah. I wonder who the other Steve Martin is. All right, let's get the saucer back here. There we go, and we're just going to remove. Let me get something to remove that with. We're going to remove the glue we put down initially. This is why I don't permanently affix anything with hot melt glue, because it comes off way too easy. I only use it to temporarily affix things in place. Sometimes it gets a good grip, but it's not, in my mind, of course, there we go. In my mind, it's not worth the risk of using for anything permanent.
All right, I'm back. Sorry.
And
Tommy says he's going to head out.
Yeah, I can't take the pain. I'm going to head out. Have a good night. I'll see you on the next one. Hopefully, we're not the ones causing you the pain.
Keith says, "Thanks, Andrew. All credit goes to Todd for. I had a lot of fun making his logo. That was fun. Steelers colors." Paul says, "Oh, just an FYI, I'm a toy buyer and a budding sabersmith."
Got it. I had a hard time decoding the message for the first time around. I don't think it came across the way it was intended.
No, I didn't.
Did I hit that by accident?
Yeah, that was you. I'll fix that.
I was just grabbing the glue gun, and I must have bumped the mouse.
Have you ever bumped the mouse and hit the back button and kicked yourself out of the studio?
I have not done that.
Oh, I have multiple times.
I will try not to do that. I've also never ended the stream by accident.
Well, yet. It's very easy to do on your phone. Oh, man.
Well, I generally don't stream StreamYard from my phone.
That's a good thing. I learned that the first time I did it. Dash says, "What do you fix those in with at the end of the build to hold it in permanently?"
I will go, once these are in place with the hot melt, I will go through and I will permanently fix them in place with epoxy. The hot melt glue is basically just to hold them in place. Otherwise, they won't stay in place when I go to epoxy them. So they won't stay in place while the epoxy sets, essentially. So the hot melt glue in just a few key places keeps them where they are supposed to be until I can get them epoxy down. Same process with the same process with the styrene strip that I'll put to create the light box on the other side. Because they're going around the corner, they just won't stay in place otherwise.
Paul Tackett says, "Isn't there a stronger glue stick?" They make all different flavors of glue sticks, but that's good for large areas. I think, the hot glue is probably really good for this. A temporary, and you're going around a curve.
Yeah.
Let's see. Steve Martin says, "Seriously, I'll sue." There's another Steve Martin out there. No.
You let us know how that goes for you. Last night I went through all these parts and I blocked out most of the windows. I still have some windows on the neck to block out, but those ones are a little more difficult to get in with the tulip paint. I have to use a shish kebab skewer to get it in there. Stringy is also the other reason I don't like to use hot melt glue. Get all these strings all over the place.
Sorry for the binging. I'm exporting pictures.
While
we're doing this.
Pictures for which project?
The Red Bull, the F1 car. Since that's brand new, I try to get them done quick.
Trying to get a stage posted on the website.
Yeah, the first couple stages, the ones I built yesterday.
I posted update 12 Thursday night, and it's the mad rush I went through to get it ready for Wonderfest. So I really had to just kind of gloss over a lot of stuff on the paint job. But the nice thing is I've got 2 of these, so I'll be able to go in a deep dive on the second one when I'm not trying to madly get it ready for Wonderfest.
Do you feel like a huge weight's been lifted off your shoulders now that you're back? And
well, there's only 355 days until Wonderfest. So.
Oh, God, don't stress yourself out already.
And I've got an Excelsior to get ready for that.
That's true. Dash says that's how many spider webs. Yeah, it's same thing, same idea. They have a blow gun that has a hot glue tip at it, and it just strings that stuff everywhere.
Now, if somehow I blast through that Excelsior project super quick and I get it off to the client, I might just do the Enterprise B up as well and have that ready for Wonderfest instead. Either way, I should have a big ship and hopefully fully completed, not just a work in progress at Wonderfest next year. Although if we end up doing that other big, huge project that is being talked about, I have no idea how I would bring that.
Oh my God. You'd have to rent a van.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to rent it. I can't think of any other way you could do it.
Then I'd have to.
The would be obnoxious.
Then I'd have to put gas in it, and man.
They make electric vans. Not very many, but a hybrid. Rent like a big Suburban and take the back seats out.
Yeah. I don't think that would fit in the elevator to go up to the hotel room.
Yeah, it would. The saucer would. You tilt it on its end. Otherwise, we'll just see you go up the stairs and switch back 14 times. No, you wouldn't go upstairs at all. It would go straight from the double back doors through the double doors into the room, and that's it.
Yeah, it would stay there.
Oh, but think about how crazy you could get. I mean, you could literally have, that's so big, you could literally configure different lights for different rooms.
Yeah.
Whole sections of it come on like at a time and change. Well, as it's sitting there, different lights come on and off, like people are moving around.
Well, I'm doing that in the Excelsior.
Yeah, but I mean at a larger scale, like almost to the point where you could have each little pair of windows almost. God, 2 or 3 windows at a time has an LED.
So Andy and I talked about that.
Oh, okay.
And we actually know how we're going to accomplish that from an effects point of view. I might have to do this for a 3rd time.
Oh no, why? You didn't just pull apart that joint, did you?
Nope. No, nothing with the strip itself. I may not have started it in the right spot.
You know, I was gonna say, would it be a good idea to do both of those at the ends first? And work
no, then I've got weird stuff in the middle. Like if it doesn't go to the right place in the middle, I'm kind of stuck.
Or would it be better to start in the dead center of that strip, mount that at the front center of the saucer, and then work your way around?
See how easy it comes off?
Oh, it's so nice.
That's the material on the back of the strip. It doesn't like to adhere to anything, so it's literally just long enough to tack it in place.
Paul says, I believe there's service elevators at the Crown. There are. But I think if you tilted a 6-footer on its end, it would still fit. And you got to think the model says 6 foot is 6 foot long, but the dish, I don't know that the dish isn't 6 foot across.
That'd be pretty big.
It would be big. I just want a picture of you like walking around carrying a 6-foot saucer.
Now imagine I
think it'd be big as you.
Imagine I walk through the foyer of Wonderfest.
Well,
6
there's
foot.
not a chance that there wouldn't be two of you holding it. But I get to see people. You're carrying it through like a table, and people are like, "Oh my god."
Well, like I brought, like when I brought the D, that one through from the hotel room down to the dealer room the first time, happened to be that everybody, like people were lining up to get their models into the contest. So I was walking by all these people with the D on the trolley, taking it into the dealer room.
I'm sure they loved it.
Okay, round 3.
I'm going to do some quick math here because give me a second.
You're going to see how big the saucer would be.
I'm going to see how wide it would be, yeah.
Yeah.
So it is 0.78. So it would be 4.7 feet across. That's 56 inches. 1,436 centimeters. So 1.4 meters. So a 6-foot model of the saucer would be 4.5 feet across, which you could get that in an elevator.
You think?
Sure.
Would you get it through the hotel room door?
Sure. Yeah.
You really think
it's not super. Once it's on its side, it's not like it's super thick. It'll fit through the width of the door. And 4.7 feet. The doors are 6.5, 7 feet.
I don't know that I'd want to be putting the thing on the side.
Yeah. All right. Jody says he's taking off. He can't stick around. Mary's at a party and she wants me to socialize. All right, man.
All right. Well, have a good night. Have fun socializing.
Yeah, that was for
you, not me.
Dash said if it's 6 feet long or wide, how are you going to flip it? Chain. So no. Well, I mean, if you were going to do it, you wouldn't do it as one piece. You'd have the saucer separatable, right? Or would you try to do it as one huge piece?
Depends on how good the neck and the saucer meet.
Because if it's 4.5 feet by 6 feet, you could still get that in an elevator. Yeah. I wouldn't want to be the one to do it, but honestly, I mean, you don't need the elevator. I mean, you'd be either showing it at a contest room or showing it at somebody's booth or showing it at one of the side rooms. So, you'd stay on the ground floor. The biggest thing would be getting it there.
Yeah, it was kind of nice being able to take it up.
Pull up a chair.
It was kind of nice being able to bring it up to the room, though.
I'm sure, yeah.
Especially since it still needed some work to be done on it. Brought it up to the presidential and threw it on the dining room table. The lighting in the suite was a lot better than the lighting in the room.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, do the other rooms even have an overhead light?
Nope.
Yeah. With the thing being 6 foot, would you make it separate so you could 2 halves? Yeah, I guess that's what Blair would want. Well, it also depends. Is the 6 foot model that they made, does it even have the underside of the saucer with the latching holes? Like docking latches. If it's not there, you're going to be doing it as one piece. So.
Yeah, the kit certainly doesn't.
Yeah.
And if it went together, because it's basically the same thing as this kit, just larger, right? So if it went together the same as far as the fit of the neck to the saucer, I don't think that there's a way to do it so that you can remove the saucer from the neck and have them go back together cleanly. Lou tried that, or was going to try that on his build, and became pretty evident to him pretty quickly that he wasn't going to be able to pull that off. I mean, good on him for trying, but it's just the nature of the kit. It would be incredibly difficult to pull that off and have that join look right. Because it really needs a world of putty work to make that seam look right. I mean, you want a seam to be there because it's a separation plane, but at the same time, you don't want a massive gap.
I mean, how, I mean, when you watch the pictures of the 6-footer being built and you see the different molds and stuff, they obviously, had it wasn't made in one big mold. They had a mold for the engineering section, they had mold for the nacelles, they had mold for the saucer top and bottom. And I imagine they probably put it together just like you did your first one, right? They had an armature, they built it to the armature.
Yeah, the 6-foot studio model, the saucer does come off that thing. Because they filmed the saucer separation with that model. How they accomplished it and got it to look right, movie magic, I guess, but I don't know.
Well, because I know they made a separate head, though. They made a separate Cobra head.
Yeah, they did.
For those shots. So I don't know if that was a more detailed, or what was more likely is that the top of the engineering section of the 6-foot model did not have the top of the Cobra head. It was just open. And they built a separate Cobra head for that. And maybe insert for the saucer. I don't know. I'd be curious. Let's call the model builders.
Yeah. Let's call Wayne. I'm sure Wayne knows. Motion picture miniature Wayne, I mean.
Yeah.
Or maybe he could call up Terry and have Terry find out.
Dash says they would have to retool. It sounds like it would need some kind of third section that you can remove and reattach based on the configuration. I feel like once they built that 6-footer, it didn't come apart. I really do, but they obviously had to have something to separate it because it would separate it. Paul Tackett says, "Want to be called Sternbach?" I don't know if the Sternbach was involved in building the model. He had his hands full of other things.
I think it was ILM that built it, right?
Yeah.
Because Andrew Probert would have just put the plans together and sent the plans off to the model building shop, right?
Yeah. Well, let's see. Let's see if we can go to hold. I wonder if Jeff Mann is still around. He was the model shop supervisor when it was built. He had a quote in here where he's talking about how Andy Probert was so specific about the paint scheme, the window locations, everything, that it took a lot longer to build it than they thought.
Well, if you're building it for Star Trek fans, you want to make sure you get it right.
Yeah, he says they used airbrushes and pre-etched brass stencils to create a somewhat random pattern of Aztecing. Greg Jean was involved, but he's not with us anymore.
And I'm not sure that whoever owns the 6-foot filming model is going to risk damaging it and taking it apart to see how it goes together.
Oh no, that's the Paul Allen Foundation, because he passed away, but his foundation still owns the 6-footer. Yeah, Greg Jean was part of it, but there was multiple people that worked on it. I mean, there was a whole team. There was like there was a picture out there somewhere of the 6 guys that were all trying to Aztec at the same time, and that says Adam Savage might know, yeah. But I'd be curious about seeing if Jeff Mann is around. If he's like on Facebook or something like that, because he was the model shop supervisor at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because Greg was the master lead, and there was Ease Aoyung. I don't know if you say that right. He was part of it. And Sean Casey, Bill Concanham, Bill George, Wesley Seeds, Larry Tan, and Howie Weed. Be curious just to talk to any of those guys. Find them and just to ask, like, how did this go together? 40 years later.
Yeah. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and put the do the temporary attachment of the lower phasers.
Dash says, would Mike Okuda know? Possibly. You don't know when different people were hired for different points of the show, and did they even go to the model shop? I'm sure they did at some point. They wanted to see it, but they had different roles. Sternbach had a different role, and Okuda had a different role, and they were probably so busy doing their things that they might have gone to the model shop, but it not being like integral in the building of it.
Yeah. Well, I know Michael Okuda was there at the beginning of season, like at the beginning of TNG.
Yeah, I think Sternbach was too. I think they were there the whole time, weren't they?
But they had their areas they were looking after, like
sure. That's what I mean. Like concept designers and art direction and things like that. Their hands were already full.
Yeah.
But I would think that they had like orthographics of the ship, so when they were just set design and stuff, that they try to make things look like they belonged. When somebody designs the windows in the living quarters, for example, that those were reasonably shaped so they would fit inside the design of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Never explaining how people on the lower decks would have been walking on windows. I like to think that the gravity was just upside down on those decks. Turbo lift would flip you over as you went down to those decks.
Well, they're not exactly on the floor. They're just very angled walls.
I don't know about that underside of the engineering hull. Maybe the saucer, sure, but I mean, you're looking at the bottom of the saucer. You're working on it right now, and those look like floor windows. Hey, but you know what? A lot of people, how many buildings and stuff have glass floors? The Space Needle, the Sears Tower, so you can walk out and stare straight down. Maybe that's what you want to do.
Well, we only ever saw top saucer windows on set.
Yep.
We never saw bottom saucer windows, so who knows what they were like.
Oh, Jeff Mann also worked on the Refit Enterprise.
Okay.
He did Wrath of Khan, Search for Spock, TNG, Star Trek IV Voyage Home, and First Contact as senior staff. Dash says, wasn't there some episode where you actually saw somebody on the bottom of one of the ships looking out from one of those windows in Voyager or Star Trek? Probably. I don't remember TNG, but it could be Voyager.
Wasn't there some episode where you actually saw somebody on the bottom of one of the ship looking out from one of those windows in either Voyager. So, yeah, sorry, I just had to reread that just to see what he was saying. I know that in Voyager, they added a window for when Janeway went down to the bottom deck, because it was the episode where they took the crew members who were not performing well, or she took them all on a trip, and one of the guys basically just pressed a couple buttons at a console on the bottom level, and so they added a window, and you could see he was looking out that window. So I wonder if that's what he's referring to. It's also the episode where who was the singer? There was a singer that was playing a crew member on that lowest floor. I can't remember who it was.
I don't remember.
They played a cameo.
Dad remembers when Picard showed the lady in First Contact looking out one of those windows, which I hated that scene.
Yeah. But
there's no windows. Really?
It was one of the saucer. It would have been one of the saucer windows on the bottom, because there's that rim where it goes up, and there's these teeny tiny windows, and that's probably what it was, or what it was intended to be anyway. So I've got no problems with that, because I just figure that's kind of where it was that they were showing. You know the area on the ship I'm talking about?
Are you talking about one of the dormers or no?
No. So on the, do I have a saucer here? I usually have a saucer kicking around, but I don't know where it is. On the bottom, there's a ring there's a ring around the bottom that it's an inset section, and on the edge, the inside edge of the rim, there are these teeny tiny windows. If I knew where my saucer was, I could show you. Or I can do.
I found it. I just sent him a message.
Found what?
It's a small world after all. What? Jeff Mann. He ended up being the vice president of creative operations at ILM.
So what, you sent him a message to ask?
Uh-huh. What's the worst you can do, Normie?
Probably.
Say no. Paul says you need to do a studio scale of the Enterprise NX-01, but I know it was CGI. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Well, if somebody wants to commission Andrew's services, go to CanadianStarships.com.
And
he'll
wait
put it on,
3 years.
He'll put it on the schedule for 3 years from now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's literally the problem I have right now.
Paul says, how much? I don't think you talk about that when you're on stream, but
No.
you can reach out to Andrew. Is it just Andrew at CanadianStarships.com?
Contact at CanadianStarships.com.
There you go. Just send him an email.
But there is no such thing as a studio scale for the NX-01.
That's true.
But Helios does have some large size ones.
Yeah, if you just want a big one, I would look at Helios and see how much it costs if that's in your budget, and then you can work that out with Andrew.
But I mean, the 350 is not small. The 350, well, curious now how big the 350 is compared to the 650 Enterprise D.
Should I go look?
Ugh.
Let's see.
So that's the 350 NX01 compared.
I assume you're going to be eating in here.
Oh, I didn't realize you already had it. That'd be a big size. That's a good size.
Yeah, this particular one is a salvage kit.
It says their Enterprise is 213 centimeters. That's a 6 foot. Oh. Wait a minute, what? No. Does it mean it's just based on the 6 footer? Yeah, 213 centimeters, and NX01 is 128 centimeters. That's just, he has a 100 centimeter version. They have a 123 centimeter version as well.
Of the NX? Like of the
Yeah,
NX01?
the NX01. Yeah, you can always reach out to Helios. It's heliosml.com. Helios Model and Lighting. And just contact them and ask them.
I need to find my styrene. Now the LEDs are, where's a spare strip here?
Yeah, Paul, you got to contact Helios. They have a price sheet they can send you, or they can quote you. I don't think they list them on their site, but I think things change. But
yeah, if you're just looking for the kit, then contact them and they'll give you pricing on specific kits. So I have to remember. I don't remember how wide these strips are after I trim them down. And somewhere I have a small ruler. Actually, that one's probably still in my panic pack box, wherever I put that. I'm still not 100% unpacked from Wonderfest.
is that like your go bag?
It's a small little container that I packed like X-Acto knives and rulers and just all kinds of stuff into to bring with me. Nope, apparently I unpacked it because the ruler's sitting on my desk. So I cut that down to just over a centimeter versus...
Paul says, cool, I may buy it, never build it. No, that happens.
That happens a lot with other kits too.
Oh, that's why stashes exist.
Yep. Well, that NX01 kit I opened, it's one I got probably Facebook Marketplace in a stash of kits, and it's clearly been attempted to be started, but not started too far. So we'll kind of one of those deals. So it's my spare kit if I ever build the NX-01 and I need like a spare piece or something. It's a backup because I've got a fully sealed NX-01 kit here in stock. All right, I need to make strips that are 8 millimeters wide. So the LED strip on the bottom of the saucer is trimmed down to fit under the metal disc, but because of the shape of the saucer, the styrene that forms the light box on the opposite side to the LEDs has to be shorter to fit under that, to fit underneath that metal disc that's in there. And I just had that X-Acto pointing the wrong way, pointing towards my chest as I was leaning into it, which could have been bad.
Yeah, don't injure yourself on stream.
Or off stream.
Excuse me.
Bless you. I've got to take a copper T and the discarded plate from Helios and get another stand for this thing made up. Because as soon as the second one starts to get built, it needs to be put on something. Because it's too...
I immediately think of that, and it gives me anxiety thinking about, oh, you got to build another stand, another armature, another pylon support, all of that.
Well, the pylon support is already in the pylons for the second one. I've already done that. It just needs some more refining for the steel strip to disappear into the pylons. So it still needs to be blended in more.
Jody says, this is me at a party socializing. He's outside by himself watching Canadian Starships. Paul says, put a rubber triangle on the X-Acto and keep it from rolling away. They do make those. I have an X-Acto handle that has a big tab on it, so it can't roll away.
Yeah?
Yeah, they make those. I will be right back.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah, Jody, I'm not one to be at parties socializing either. And I completely understand what it's like when my daughter experiences sensory overload when I'm in those loud social situations. All right. I got hot melt glue all over my desk. I'll have to clean that up. Isn't Wonderfest a party? Yeah. I was too tired to be in the presidential for too long. I mean, Friday by the time I'd gone to bed, I'd been up for 25 and a half hours. 13 hours or so of that was driving to Wonderfest. So we were a little bit on the tired side when we got there. So I did not hang out for too long. All right, we're going to get the light box portion temporarily tacked in. And then once those are in, probably tomorrow at this point, because we've got about 20 minutes left, I will go through and permanently epoxy this stuff in place. Oh, you know what? I almost put the cart before the horse. I can't install these tonight. They need to be light blocked. They need to be light blocked. But I should probably just make sure I've got enough to go around. So we'll just check this. But I'm pretty sure 4 pieces is enough to go around. Oh, yeah. Actually. Yeah, 4 pieces. It needs just a little bit more than 3 pieces. So we'll get those set up to get some light block paint on. And I'm just looking for a discarded piece of cardboard that I can place those on, which I do have here. So we'll get these tacked down onto here. And I'll set this up for the upper phasers as well. The upper phasers, I don't have to make the light block walls shorter. They can be the same size as the LEDs because there's more room to work on the top part. The phasers have to, the light block walls for the lower phasers have to be nestled in just right underneath the metal disc that's in the saucer. So there's literally just like a millimeter to spare once I get it all in place. So I have to be mindful of that as I set all this stuff up.
What do you use for light blocking? Do you just paint them black and then white again, or?
Yeah, I'm just going to use black primer and then white primer.
Yeah.
Actually,
silver primer.
Actually, I just need to. I think all I did was I put black primer on the outside of them, and left the inside white.
There you go.
As per the plastic. So I think I just need to hit these with black if I remember how I did it the last time. So there's 4 strips of styrene for the lower saucer section. I'm going to double check if these are full height or not. I can't remember. I may have cut them down height-wise on the upper saucer too. Yes, I did. The edging, like the edge of the LEDs have been actually cut off because there's extra backing that you don't need, and it just keeps the profile lower there. So that's got to be, I should measure that. Just so I know how big these are going to be. So those are about 1.1 centimeters. I mean, 1 point. 1 point. Yeah, 1.1. It's been a long day. My brain's not mathing properly.
You cook your brain with all that mathing.
Yeah. It's been one of those days today.
Yeah.
One, no, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. I really need to get my eyes checked again for the whole close-up thing so I can get some, what are they called, where you've got the 2 prescriptions in?
Oh, bifocals?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need them too because I have my long distance and my close distance are both a little blurry.
Well, my close distance is fine if I'm not wearing my long distance glasses, but that's something that changed right after my last eye appointment. It's like they put the drops in, my eyes got bigger, like my pupils got dilated, and then when it all went back together, or whatever it means, retracted, de-dilated, whatever it is, I couldn't see close up with my glasses anymore.
Paul's taking off. Good night, Paul.
Have a good night.
Yeah, they said I have a condition that it's very minor. I mean, my prescription is like a 0.5, you know, but since I do photo work, I need things to be super sharp.
Yeah.
And they said it's a thing that happens to some people, and it slowly degrades over like 5 years, and then it just stops. And that's what your vision will be for the rest of your life. I'm like, interesting.
Whoa, Dash.
Yeah. Dash comes in with his dashing super chat.
Woo.
You could still be on legal time like Wayne and be in the UK. You could.
I am so glad that I did not pick up Conflu and end up coming home sick like Wayne did.
Yeah, his clock's all out of whack. He got COVID.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Dash. That's very kind of you.
That goes towards your Wonderfest cost next year. There you go.
Well, what's kind of crazy is, and just this is just a little bit behind the scenes of how YouTube works, but I have never gained as much in ad revenue in 1 week as I have following Wonderfest.
Oh, really? You're getting a lot of views, I'd imagine. I mean,
yeah, but it's been interesting because, well, I mean, I'm almost halfway to a monthly payout with the ad revenue of the last week from Wonderfest. Dash has now just blown that away. It's now over the threshold for a monthly payment. So
what's the minimum?
You need to have $100 in your AdSense account for them to pay out.
Gotcha. All right. I was just curious.
Yeah. But no, the videos have been doing really well on the channel. The shorts have done well. The videos have done well. My update video from Thursday has done well. It's that Wonderfest bump. I've got about 55 new subscribers this week. So that's helpful too.
Yeah, we had a couple new people tonight in your stream too.
Yeah.
That's always good.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Dash.
Yes, thank you, Dash. Always appreciated. Never ever required. So thank you. Never expected either. All right, so I've got 4 strips for the upper phaser. I'm just going to just check to make sure that 4 strips is all I actually need. 1, 2, probably 3, and 4 strips is all I'm going to need. Building the second one is certainly going to be a different experience than building the first one, as I've done it once, and I know where the pitfalls lay. Dash says, well, like Norm, where's my mouse? Yeah, there you go. Like Norm from Tested will probably make it jump too. Yeah, I would. That would be nice. I mean, that was something completely unexpected. I never thought that they would be interested in a build that was yet to be completed. I don't know how they found out about it because Norm came looking for me. Said that they knew it was here, and they came looking for it.
He watches a lot. You'd be surprised. He watches a lot of stuff. He doesn't comment just to not stir things up, but he watches a lot of stuff. And like he saw the Johnny Fives and he went hunting for us, so from last year or the year before.
Yeah. So, but like he knew it was there and came to the show expecting to talk to us, which was crazy. So. Yeah, okay, give me a moment. I'm going to throw some paint down on this. I will be still on the microphone, so I can still chat away, and I'm still going to be able to hear.
Well, Dash says, just wait. I got your email. He'll be in touch. Oh, boy.
Sorry, what's that?
Dash says he has your email. He'll be in touch. He's gonna send you work. That's what Dash is going to do. Okay.
Well, Dash is already talking about having the... like the paint tape look Enterprise E done, which would be quite interesting to actually see that come together. I have no idea how that would work, but we'll see. You should still be able to hear me. I might be able to hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Can you hear the paint?
Very quietly, yes.
All right.
Dash says, who knows, maybe him or Adam saw one of your videos, and who knows, maybe they're here watching. They could be. You never know.
You never know.
20 people watching and 2 people talking.
If somebody's just lurking and not commenting, we would never ever know that they were there.
That's right.
All right, so that's outside drying. So I'm going to take a look. That's not the part I was going to take, but no, we can actually. That is perfectly fine. I'm going to grab a barbecue skewer because I keep those in my workbench, as you do. And I've got tulip paint here somewhere. Here it is. And we're going to add some tulip paint inside the neck. And I think that's how we'll wrap things up here tonight. Getting some neck windows light blocked. Let's see. I'm just going to trim the point off of this a little bit. So I literally have to put tulip on the end of the skewer. Had a little bit of paint clogging the end there. So I have to put a little bit of paint on the end of the skewer and then feed it into the neck here and paint the inside of the window that way. But yeah, the whole interview thing was kind of mind-blowing. Like just completely unexpected. So we'll see how that turns out. Norm contacted me following Wonderfest asking for some supplemental media. So I put a package of photos together and emailed those out. I'm still waiting to find out how he wants me to send him video clips, because the video clips are too large to email, and they want the original video clips so that they don't get compressed multiple times but via YouTube.
Do you have like a Dropbox or something, or Google Drive you can share them?
I do, but I'll send them to them however they want them. I'm sure they deal with it all the time, so they kind of know what works best for them. I don't want to block too many windows on the back of the neck here, because they're really nice windows. Just going to block enough to show that it was thought of. Actually, the neck windows turned out really well. So Dash, how long was Jody able to visit for? Did you get a good opportunity to connect? And are you further north in Michigan than Detroit? Just curious for future trips.
Dash says it's very interesting how the stars now come from TikTok, YouTube, and other social media. It's true. The influencer effect.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get an answer here in a second.
Well, the whole world of where people get their entertainment from has completely changed.
Sure. And how they get it, right? On demand, and
how it's made. I mean, how much of stuff that you're watching is made by people in their own homes, not by studios, right? And just the availability of the technology that allows that to be a thing.
yeah, because nowadays people can get just professionally done stuff. I mean, right out of their home with the power of the PC and all of the add-ons and After Effects and editing software suites. And
well, there's I've got a little bit of insight into kids' entertainment these days because I've got 2 young kids, and there's a family who probably a year or 2 before COVID hit had started making, probably a couple of years more than that. Anyway, they'd started making videos with their son. So the son and the parents in their home on YouTube, and it blossomed into them having their own doing their own studio. Ended up having an actual TV show on a kids channel.
Was that the kid that was like unboxing toys or something?
Possibly.
He was like 6, 7 years old or something like that, and he had millions of subs and people just watching him unbox toys.
Quite possibly. And then during COVID, they ended up continuing their TV show by filming it themselves in their home studio.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Hello, Shark. Welcome to the stream.
Hey, Ricardo.
Oh, that's Ricardo. Trying to keep real names with screen names straight is one of those things that I struggle with.
Just say Shark. He knows who he is.
Mm-hmm. Just wondering if I got enough windows on the neck there. I don't want to block too many. There's a couple I'm going to do that I couldn't access from the other direction. And some of these, I'm kind of going a little light on the application of the tulip so that some of these windows, they might not be completely blacked out. Some light might be getting through. Just to add a little bit of variance there. So there we go. So I've got the LEDs temporarily affixed to the saucers. Probably would have gotten more done had I not pulled the one LED strip off a couple times to fix it and realign it and stuff like that. The walls for the light boxes for the phasers are cut out, and they have a light blocking coat on them. I've got the back of the neck, the windows blacked out for windows that are going to be off. The only windows I still have left to light block from the inside, because you can see the ones that are done on the inside there. The only ones I have left to do are on the sides of the necks in there. So that will be done another time because it is 11 o'clock and it is time for me to go. I do have to work early in the morning, so I need to be able to go to sleep and be rested for the morning. So we are going to finish off the stream there. So thank you everyone for hanging out for, well, I was a little late due to technical difficulties so just shy of 2 hours tonight. Thank you for spending some time watching me and get some LED strips in for phasers and a few other things on the second Enterprise D that we are going to be working on. Eventually, it'll look like that one. And I know she's a little bit blurry back there, but it takes me back every time I walk into the shop and it's sitting there fully painted, because I've been so used to seeing it not painted for the last year in parts, and to see it all assembled and painted is something really cool to see when you walk into the shop every day. So looking forward to getting the second Enterprise D up to the same stage as what that one's at. And I'm going to be considering what I'm going to do for the escape hatches. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to do just the decals or if I'm going to paint and do something different. We'll see how that goes. But thank you, everyone, for spending some time. Thank you, Dash, again, for your super chat. Again, that is super, super generous and very much appreciated. Thank you, everyone who was here and who spent some time keeping me company while I get some work done tonight. I hope that you've enjoyed it. If you did, make sure that you hit that like button. If you're new to my channel or you haven't done so yet, hit that. Oh, wait, before we go, I want to find out what this button does.
That puts your chat on screen.
I know. Somebody do a chat. Somebody do a chat for me.
Yeah, it puts the live chat on stream, but I guess for people that watch TV, it's good, but it takes up extra room for people that have the chat in a different window.
So is it just not something that we can see?
No, it'll pop up there if somebody sends something. Somebody send a message.
Somebody send something. I'm curious what's going to happen.
There you go. See?
Okay, so that's what it does.
That's what it does.
I was curious more than anything.
You know, if you don't have a producer, that might be helpful.
Yeah.
It's put this two places, and if you're watching full screen on a TV or a computer or something like that, you have the chat on the screen.
Yeah, it's just something that popped up, and I was just kind of curious what it was. So there we go. Solve that question. So if you enjoyed the stream, hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, you haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button today. You'll make me very happy if you do. But for now, my name is Andrew. Your producer tonight has been Todd. Hope that you've enjoyed it. Have a good night, everybody. Stay cool. I'm going to get my air conditioning fixed on Monday because this is not fun. All right. Bye, everyone.